Animal Jam, now in the year of our Lord, known as Animal Jam Classic, is a weird little MMO launched by Wildworks in collaboration with National Geographic around 2010. If you don't know National Geographic, it's, the people who record animals committing atrocities in the wild and, living their lives, living their best lives. To summarize the game so I can get into the juicy stuff, you enter the world of Jama, the super creative title. You enter as an animal, give that animal a name that you have to pick from preconceived options so you can't swear or name your animal something like poop ass. Then customize their appearance and their house to your heart's content. After that point, which was essentially the tutorial, it was free reign. You just fuck around the world buying stuff with the in-game currency called gems, role-playing or arguing with random passerby, playing mini-games to earn more cash, attending parties either the game or other players would throw, buying items and purchasing pets for your animal friend. Kind of terrifying. But despite all these neat features, the only thing that really mattered to people in the game were items and the trading aspect. Essentially the in-game economy. The less people who had an item, or the more special and sought after said item was, the more people wanted it, so it was more in demand, it was rarer. So the rarer items you had was like how cool you were. Like if you had all the cool rare shit, you were like super awesome. Trading wasn't the only thing that made you, I guess, like cooler in Animal Jam. The way that these sites made money was like memberships. Essentially you couldn't do anything unless you got a membership or anything cool. So, steal daddy's credit card, buy that Arctic Wolf Timmy, or you'll never land in Animal Jam Girlfriend. That's just how it is. This game was basically just like any MMO, but it did get really fucking big at one point. It reached over 100 million players in 2018, which is a little bit ridiculous. And it had a very surprisingly large community. With a rapidly growing player base and immense interest in the ins and outs of Animal Jam, a blossoming community was formed around the game. Firstly, I'm going to list a lot of good things it's brought about, which, vitally was the sense of community and the kindness people showed towards others within the community. In Animal Jam, there were a lot of veteran players who helped people succeed in the game, which was called getting rare. Kids aren't that fucking creative. Creativity is a really important part of the community as well. It was probably one of the most impressive things about the community, if I'm honest, because people always made art of their characters. Probably because the majority of people were furries. I'm gonna be honest, and furries are good at art. I mean, what can you expect? It's a game about animals, so I guess that was just the furry pipeline or something. The furry pipeline. If you played Animal Jam and you didn't become a furry, put your hands up. There were a lot of speed paints and animations. There were a lot of drawing their own characters or other people's, mostly YouTubers. Another good thing about the community was YouTube. YouTube was a large part of the Animal Jam community. A lot of people followed big, rare Animal Jam YouTubers and idolized the content that they created, or in a lot of cases, because art was a really big thing in the community, the art that they made. There were a couple kinds of content that they would make. There was tutorials on getting rare items or just showing them off, music videos to every copywritten song imaginable, which is another MMO staple. There were also little roleplay stories that were hilarious in hindsight, and Animal Jam inspired me to create my second and third YouTube channel. It was either my second or my third, I can't remember. There's a lot of blank space in my brain. Posted pretty consistently and improved my editing skills a lot until I deleted it because someone was getting really fucking close to finding it and I did not want anyone to know. I made, oh god, I made music videos to copywritten music through the medium of Animal Jam, so basically, don't fuck with me. Okay, now here's some bad things about Animal Jam, things that I didn't really like looking back. With a growing community like the one Animal Jam once had, there's going to be bad apples, and with those bad apples, a different side of the community was also formed. Because of how vital rare items were to one's Animal Jam experience, people went about getting them in shitty ways and only valuing each other if they were useful to them rarity-wise. Now, I wouldn't say that it's an understatement to say that rarity determined your worth in this game. If you couldn't provide people with rare items, nobody really gave a shit about you. That's just kind of how it was. It was pretty superficial in those aspects, unfortunately, but, because of this culture created around rare items, scamming became a really big thing. Which, that's kind of another MMO staple. Kids are gonna scam each other. That's just how it is. If someone has something and other people don't, they want it. So within scamming, people tricked each other a lot to get each other's items. I heard a lot of stories about people befriending each other, tricking them into sending a rare item as quote-unquote proof of their friendship, promising to give it back and never doing so, which I think that was probably the scummiest kind, because, like, you're pretending to be someone's friend just to get, like, their fake virtual items is just really weird, and I hope the kids who did that are okay. And not, like, sociopaths. Oh, another thing that was, like, super popular was this thing called flash trading, which was basically gambling to see if someone would take your items or not. So basically, you would trade someone all of your rare stuff for something shitty, and click cancel as soon as you could, basically flashing them with the rares. Sometimes the screen glitched though, and you'd get scammed out of your good things because it made the screen stay on too long and they could actually have time to click the button and accept it. This actually did happen to me once, but you know what, I kind of deserved it, so I can't even be mad. Nowadays, the trading system is different, so both parties have to consent to the trade, but back in the day, basically somebody would send a trade offer to someone and they could either click yes or no. The consent of the other party was basically sending the trade in the first place. But now you send the trade and then they have to accept and you have to accept again after the trade. So it's way harder to scam people. Good on their part. And I can't really think of a lot of other popular avenues of scamming. These were like kind of the main ones, but YouTubers would take part in these, especially flash trading, which popularized them, which was not very good, but they were also children as well, so it's not like it mattered. Basically, I would have like a couple burner accounts, strip clubs were it was so stupid. It was so stupid. You would literally like take mats and spell out like sex or something and then invite people to your den and be like, come to my den, and then people would come and they'd be like, it says sex on the ground. And I thought it was so funny. But it wasn't. It really wasn't that funny at all. It's just people getting mad. How I felt about the game at the time, looking back at it, is that the in-game economy and the importance of rarity took over other aspects of the game, making it so that in order to actually like have fun and have interactions with people, you kind of had to act out. You couldn't really participate in a wholesome and like still fun community without the importance of rares like seeping in. With this culture that was built, people left in hordes, mostly because they aged out of it and there's only so much you can do in an MMO. Now, I touched on this briefly before, but the version of Animal Jam I'm talking about isn't even called Animal Jam anymore. It's now technically Animal Jam Classic, and the developer's mobile app, Animal Jam Play Wild, a weird little 3D mobile version of Animal Jam Classic released in like 2015, is now just called plain old Animal Jam. So Animal Jam is now Animal Jam Classic, and Animal Jam Play Wild is Animal Jam. Pretty funky, pretty weird. I'm not a fan of this decision, but if you look at it closely, it makes a lot of sense. Adobe Flash, which used to run Animal Jam nice and neat straight on your browser, was discontinued, and kids don't want to download something onto a computer in order to play a game. That's literally why people play shit like Club Penguin and Animal Jam, because their parents won't let them download stuff in fear they'll turn the Mac downloads folder into a fucking dumpster fire. But on the iPhone or iPad, people are already used to downloading apps in order to play them, and more likely to attract their audience of children towards the game on that particular platform. Kids are just way more likely to play that, and apparently the app's doing well too, so the decision definitely has some backing. So basically, regardless of what lies in the future for Animal Jam, it was a pretty fun game that taught me a lot about YouTube and art in a very roundabout way, and for that I thank it. I doubt I'm gonna ever return to it. I don't have a reason to. Regardless, I'm gonna carry the memories it has bestowed upon me throughout my entire life, which is pretty cool. And even to this day, I feel a fucking vitriol inside of me to give anyone my rare items. I feel like I must die with them. So, yeah. If you didn't notice who this video is by, it's me, kennyphosphene. Make sure to subscribe and follow me on my social medias, please. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this helped you feel a little bit nostalgia for the old days of Animal Jam now that it's, you know, gone. Bye. Have fun. Have a fun day. Don't get hit by a bus.